So I did a video recently, and it was talking about how borrowers are getting rejected at a higher rate, at the highest rate in 5 years, right? And they were getting rejected for things, for loans about, in regards to mortgages, auto loans, credit cards. But the one loan that I didn't see on there was student loan. I'm like, okay, why not? So they're getting rejected for everything else, but student loans, there's nothing. I mean, it seems they'll be able to give that money out so freely, and I'm like, oh, why is that? But obviously, the reason for that is because it's backed by the government, right? And it was just interesting to see that and just like really like think about like reading this article, and it was talking about how for a lot of reasons, obviously because the feds are obviously jacking up interest rates, making it hard, making it more expensive to borrow money, right? And you can see that when it comes to, like, say, mortgage. If you're looking for a mortgage, interest rates are very high. If you're looking for an auto loan, interest rates are very high. And obviously credit cards, they're in the 20%. And student loans, I would think probably interest rates are going up on that as well, of course. But it's still, people are able to access that. And not only that, but they're able to get hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loans as 18-year-olds. And when I was reading this article, for a lot of reasons, it was like, if you have a credit score over below 680, under 680, then there's gonna be more people getting rejected. But if you're a high school student, if you're a student getting out of high school going into college, you're 18, then you don't have that much credit, but yet you can still get access to student loans at such a high rate. And so how would you fix that, right? How can we fix that? Well, do basically what all these other places are doing. Like, if you want to get a loan for a home, obviously you gotta go to this bank, to any bank, right? But how about you put that responsibility on the institution, right? Have them responsible. Remove the loan giving business from the government, right? Let them not allow them to guarantee the money, and put that responsibility on the institutions. I guarantee you, the prices of these student tuitions will go down dramatically. Why? Because most people wouldn't be able to afford it. The same way these banks are rejecting people for auto loans, credit cards, mortgage, you would see a lot more people being rejected for student loans. Unfortunately, you don't want that to happen, because people want to get educated, but you would see the price of that come down because demand would come down, just like what they're doing, what the feds are doing with the interest rate hikes, right? The reason why they're raising the interest rate, because they want to make debt more expensive, right? They want less people, they want less money being put into the economy, right? They want less people being able to afford things. So the less things people can afford, that's going to drive demand down, and therefore hopefully drive down inflation. Well, that same thing can be applied to student loans. Remove the loan business from the government, put that on the institutions, and they won't be able to say, all right, what, the tuition on here is like $100,000, because the majority of people would not be able to afford that. So then what that would force institutions to do is like, all right, what people can't afford is what we're going to do is we're going to we got to bring the prices down so people can afford that, right? And I don't think a lot of people are aware of that, right? They understand that. If you ask people why education is so expensive, they're going to obviously blame the institutions. And yes, that's technically, that is right. They're the ones driving up the prices. But why are they doing it, right? They're incentivized to do it, right? If I'm going to borrow money from someone and I can guarantee that person is going to pay. If someone wants to borrow money from me and I can guarantee that person is going to pay me back, then I'm not going to have a problem doing that. And that's the same thing with student loans. They know, these institutions know that the loans are backed by the government. It's guaranteed. They know they're going to get their money. So therefore they're like, let's just keep jacking up the prices, because the loans are backed by the government. That's guaranteed. And the person that loses on the end is you, because you're going to be the one stuck holding the bag, and you're going to be the one that has to pay that back. And of course, once you graduate college, right, you go into college thinking, oh man, I'm gonna study XYZ, and it's still going to pay me a high paying job or whatever. And then once you get out of college, you find out, that whatever you studied for is not what you're actually doing right now, and it's a lower paying job, and then you can't pay back that debt, right? So if you're gonna solve this problem, and you're gonna have to take away that responsibility from the government. Maybe they could focus on giving vouchers. Like, if some people can't afford college, they can probably give out vouchers or scholarships, and they can pay it that way. But guaranteeing these loans is just gonna incentivize these institutions to just jack up the prices. And it's just gonna be more expensive. And as long as it's guaranteed, they're gonna pay. And then, like I said, the person that's gonna be stuck holding the bag is gonna be the student, right? And they're not going to be able to pay that back because it's just too much, and they're not going to have a job that's going to give them a good return on their money. So I think that's the most important thing, and I think people have to really understand and realize that these institutions are incentivized to drive up the prices because they understand that the money is backed up. And like you said, if you can see what's going on, especially with the Feds out there raising the interest rates, all this is the reason why they're doing it is because they want to disincentivize spending, right? They want less money being put into the economy, which is driving up demand, which is driving up inflation, making more things expensive, right? The more money people have to spend, the more money they're going to spend it and drive up the prices of all consumer goods, and they don't want that. Like, inflation is too damn high, so they want to make borrowing money more expensive, reducing demand, therefore hopefully driving down inflation. And if you could take that same thing and apply it to student loans, remove the government out of the student loan business, get them into giving vouchers and scholarships, whatever it is, and you put that responsibility on the institution and have them give out, have them partner up with banks and they have to give out loans, I promise you will see the demand you will see the price of these tuitions go down dramatically because the majority of people won't be able to afford it. Yes, you'll probably have a lot more people like going to school, but let's be real, man. I tell you, education, like I said, is a big scam, right? It's just a pure, like the majority of the classes that the stuff that you got to study, they can be thrown out, man. Other than math, science, engineering, law, all the stuff that you actually need, we need in society. But the rest, like, you can just throw that out. You don't need it. You don't need to go to school. You don't need to get a degree for the majority of things that are in school. So I think you would drive down the prices for a lot of these institutions if you just remove, the fact that these loans are the fact that most of these loans are guaranteed by the government. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. I wonder what your thoughts are. If you got any comments or questions, make sure to leave it down below. Hit the like button and share. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe, right? So you guys take care and have a good one. Later.